Let's see here. We're gonna try and get this going. So I'm gonna try and put this on my, what is it, IGTV? Oh, hi. That's fun that it pops up. I love it. I'm gonna try and put this on my IGTV. I don't know if it will work. I'm not sure how to do that yet. So if I don't get to put it on my IGTV, I'll make another one eventually, I'm sure. Can you guys hear me okay? I just want to make sure before too many people hop in that you guys can hear me. Oh, it will be up for 24 hours. Perfect. Okay, cool. Hi. Oh, this is so fun. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, so while I sit here and wait for a couple minutes, how's everybody doing? I'm wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. We don't care. We don't care around here. Just hit save. Alexa, you're the smartest. Hit save at the end. Okay, cool. Hey, Erica. Oh my gosh, this is fun. I kind of love it. Okay, so basically what I wanted to do today, I'm just going to style a suite, and you guys can just sort of watch and ask questions. It'll be hard because I have to keep looking back to see your questions, so if I don't get them, I'll do some scrolling. And if I don't get to your question in the video, I will answer it afterwards. So yeah, I'm just starting with a canvas board that I have. I have some styling mats that I take to weddings with me, and I use when I style suites, but I didn't want to use any of those today. I just wanted to use a board that I made. And then I have this massive, you can't really tell, it's huge. It goes like all the way, this massive dress. But I really liked the lace on it, so we're gonna use that. And that's actually a trick that I use like on wedding days and stuff. When I'm styling the suites, is if there's something cool like about the dress or like a bridesmaid's dress, I'll kind of pull that in. So we've got a dress. We have an invitation suite. I really should have picked bolder colors because I don't know if I can. Oh, I can't. Oh, this is fun. Okay. So here's an invitation suite. I'm working with like earth tones. They're like natural. So like greens. I think we have like some yellows. Can we talk about how pretty this green is? Like, wow. Super fun. So we're gonna use those. It's got stamps on it. I love it. And hi, Megan. We're just gonna go with it, I think. I sort of cheated and got stuff ready. You can sort of see the chaos happening over here. We're gonna just ignore that. That's just what I'm pulling all of my stuff from. But I'll move it into view for you so you can sort of see what I'm working with. I'll do that for you. Basically what I did is I went through my kits, plural, and I pulled out stuff, like, I'll bring this closer to you guys. So I grabbed some ribbons that have some tones that match the suite, like earth tones and blues and greens, and I grabbed this yellow because it's a really cool color, it's really fun, and also it's dyed with flowers. So if my bride is super into like the earth and natural stuff, she might love this. And I grabbed just some little risers for layers, some little geode pieces, and then I have the rings, if I don't throw them, and some earrings. Super fun, just some stuff. And then over here I have a bunch of floral pieces. So just some fun. These are not real. They're totally fake. But it's okay for now. It's fine. I could have gone outside and tried to find some if I really wanted to, but everything is dead at my house, so I can't do that. But it's okay because we have these. I actually have an entire box of them from the Rosewood Boutique. Look at how gorgeous. Love it. So I went through this and grabbed some pieces that we're going to use. We're just going to get started. It's a little cold out here, so if I start to turn red, that's why. I'm on my patio because the light is really pretty out here, so it's a little chilly. Also, when I'm done styling this and we like go over questions if anybody has any, I'm going to photograph it and pop the finished photos into my stories later this afternoon, so you guys can take a look to see what comes from it. I also just looked out the window and it is snowing, so it's snowing on my patio. That's fun. Okay. You guys are gonna get an unedited, raw version of what goes through my brain when I'm styling a suite. So, congratulations, and also I apologize at the same time. It's gonna be fun. So I like to start by examining the pieces. So we've got an envelope that has calligraphy on the flap. It's got a really nice calligraphy on the front and some fun stamps. We have the card that's really pretty. Bring this closer. Oh yeah, look how nice that is. Love it. And then we've got, what is this? An RSVP card that has a front and a back. A details card that's super nice that just has a front. And then I'm assuming this is the RSVP envelope. Yeah. Doesn't have a stamp or anything on it that I have to cover. I have found that most of the time the stamps on the RSVP envelopes are like the forever stamps that are like the flag. And so those are always really fun to try and like cover up with stuff. So brides, if you're stamping your RSVP envelopes, maybe don't use American flag ones. Maybe. I mean, if you're getting stamps, why not add those too? Okay. So let's start laying stuff down here. And I did lay this dress, or the lace of this dress out, just because I really like the texture of the lace. And I just think it's a little more interesting than just like a plain white canvas. I don't know. It just seems a little more interesting to me. So we've got that. And I think what we're actually going to do is end up using this ribbon right here. This is a watercolor plant dyed ribbon from, I honestly cannot remember because I have so many of them, but it's really, really nice. Hi Hannah, hi Rachel, super fun. I love that you guys are all here. This is hilarious. Oh. So I like to lay my ribbon out first. And what I like to do is I like to sort of plan in my head where I'm gonna lay things out. So we're gonna do a vertical suite. The difference between the shapes in a vertical suite versus a horizontal suite, totally different. Vertical suite, you want to use the top to bottom space, not necessarily the left or right space. Think of like a diamond instead of like an oval or like an ellipse. So we're gonna go more for like a diamond, and I even have the like lace fabric sort of like in that diamond kind of shape already. So that's just a good like guide just for me to be like, am I making the right shapes? So let's lay this stuff out. We've got our ribbon that's ready to go. So I just quickly will just sort of like lay this how I think I want it to go. Just like something like this. Just so that I can get an idea of where I'm gonna lay the ribbon. And the trick that I use with my ribbon is I don't like hand do it. I will take the ribbon and just start off the canvas, off the board, off the whatever, and I will just sort of lay it in there, and then I go through and just sort of play around with it. This lace is a little bulkier than I would like, so we may have to fix that. That's okay. And I'm going to play a lot in this open space, not necessarily, I'm not going to put the ribbon over the lace just because that's enough of a textural element in itself. And you'll see that once I lay the stuff down, I always end up re-messing with the ribbon. That's just how it goes. And that's completely fine. This is just giving me like a good idea of where I want things to go. Okay, cool trick. You don't want to have long spaces where the ribbon is flat. It looks staged that way. It doesn't look natural. It doesn't look organic. So making just little pinches, even if you just pinch the sides of it up and it bubbles up, that does enough, honestly. Okay, so now that we have our ribbon out, we're gonna place some pieces. I always like to start with the two biggest pieces because they take the most time to get in the right kind of spot. And I know, looking at this is a little skewed, so we're gonna try. You'll have to just excuse my terrible recording ship, whatever it is. Video's not my thing. I take stills. Okay. So we're gonna take some of these little risers. You can also use washi tape. You can use the tops of ring boxes. You can use whatever you have. I have these cool, they remind me of like gumball. You get them from like gumball machines. They're cool. They came with something I bought from the styling mat, their styling shop. I bought like rings or something in them, and this is what they came in. So I kept them because they're cool. So let's place the envelope and the invitation suite first. So remember, we're gonna work in that diamond shape, and we want the invitation to sort of be like the main. This is what I want your eye to go to, right? I mean, that's usually how it goes. So we either want to put it like right up at the top or in the center. I personally didn't used to love center weighted things. It made my brain hurt for some reason. I'm a big reader, so I read, you know, from top to bottom, left to right. So I would always place it closer to the top. But even in this case, I think we could do like something like this, closer to the top, but a little bit in the center. We're gonna give this 2 blockies. There we go. 2 blockies. And this is not gonna look straight on the camera that you guys are watching, but I promise it is straight. I promise. So we've got that, and you'll notice as I go through that I don't put risers under everything. That's because we want to have a difference in the layers. You want to create the layers, different planes, that sort of thing. I'm already going to start messing with this. There we go. Now we have our invitation envelope. So you can do this 2 ways. You can leave the flap up and do it this way. That way you see that there's calligraphy or a stamp on this. Or you can leave it down, which is what I'm going to do. If you leave it down, make sure at some point to get a photo of it this way too. Like I have a wax seal, so like we could easily do another sort of layout here where I have it this way instead. Just something to remember. So we're going to tuck this guy right up underneath. And the reason that I did that is because I really like this loop of ribbon, so I don't want to hide it. Also, this is kind of coming out to like that widest part of that diamond right here. Love it. So we have our 2 biggest items. So now we're going to take the colored item that we have in our suite, which is this green envelope, and I'm going to put the RSVP card with it, or yeah, the RSVP card. And again, this has a front and a back. Obviously, the front is prettier, so that's what we're going to use first. And again, I would do this, I would take another layout and photograph it again with the backs of everything. Or even when you do close-up details of the shots, you can take it and flip it around so you have images of both of the sides. So for the RSVP envelope, I'm just going to lay it down. And I'm going to kind of have to smush it a little because of this lace. This lace is intense, guys. She is an intense dress. Okay. So I'm just going to lay her down. If I really need to, I'll just put her up on something. Like, hello. There we go. We can do that. I'm even going to scooch it up a little more. And I'm opening the envelope flap because it's a different shape. It's just more interesting and appealing than just a green rectangle, in my opinion. This is all just my opinion. Do not take it to heart. if you do things differently on a wedding day, by all means, do them that way because they work for you, and I love that. Does anybody have any questions about anything while we just sort of, it's going to take me a couple of seconds to get this right. There we go. I knew we would get it eventually. We would get it eventually. Now another thing I like to do is I don't like things to be parallel. I don't like it. So like if I moved this envelope up so that the bottoms were parallel to each other, that would drive me nuts. I don't like it. It's very boring. It's very boring to look at. So we've got the RSVP card that I'm going to stick on a piece of washi tape. And I'm going to leave the tiniest bit of a gap between this envelope and this RSVP card. I am going to leave a gap. I'm not going to have this overhang it just because that's a personal thing. I want to be able to use as much of this space as possible. So we're going to do that. And then this details card, we can do a few things with it. We can bring it down here. I kind of like it down there. We're going to bring her down there. She's just going to sit right on the ribbon, right on the canvas. Now this top left corner is empty. Even though it doesn't look empty because of the lace, it's empty. That's where we're going to start playing with all of our fillers. So like our flowers, our like little greenery pieces. These ones match the leaves on the photo much better. So we're going to go ahead and put those in. And this is just sort of where I like to say, like, this is where your creative juices come into play. This is where you do your staple, whatever it is. I don't honestly know if I have like a staple Sam thing. I may. Who knows? But it could be something as simple as like this. Okay, so we've got the leaves coming out to just sort of remind people, hey, I'm up here. We're going to bring the earrings and the ring in. I have my band too. For this purpose, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use the ring, or just the engagement ring. So when it comes to setting in rings, you don't just want to like set it like here and say, okay, it's in there, ta-da. The chances of this getting cut off, like when in cropping, if you're cropping in to do a close-up shot, is very great. So I like to keep the ring close to the main invitation, just because I would say they're about as equal in importance to my brides. They are. So I'm actually going to line up the top of this envelope with the middle of my ring box. Just a cool little thing there. And you can always not use the top of your ring box. You can set like the groom's band on it. You can set the wedding band on it. You can just forget that it's there. This ring box has a cool little stamp on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see that. So you can even, I usually will just let it sit somewhere on the other side of the frame. Just sort of like hanging out there. And I like to put the earrings or another piece of jewelry closer to that. So we can take these earrings. Now these earrings are broken, but you won't be able to tell. So if you zoom into these photos later and you're like, Sam, why did you pick broken earrings? They're just earrings I had, okay? I just had them. So we've got earrings in, we've got our ring in. Now we have all these random things. And this is sort of where, again, it comes into personal taste. It comes into, there's a fine line between just enough and too much. Okay? Just enough and too much. On a real wedding day, I would stop right here. Honestly, I would. This would be it. I would take this photo. It would be good to go. I would do close-up shots of like the invitation. I would take a horizontal of like this little setup. I would even get a close-up of like a ribbon swoop with something else in there, just because everything seems to mesh so nicely. But for like bespoke styling purposes, like stuff that I post on my Instagram, stuff that I take for calligraphers and stationers, I like to style it a little more. I like to go like a little more of a fine art route. So I will add other pieces. So I have some cool little, trying to stick with like earthy and natural items. These little geode pieces that I just almost dropped all over the place. Little green geode pieces. I have some cute gold scissors. And then I'm gonna add in some actual flowers. Now I have this really big one, and I didn't know if I was gonna use it. And I could use it. I'll show you how I would use it. Basically, what I like to do now is just sort of see where there is blank space, but I don't like to come too close to the corners because I know in my head when I photograph the size of my board, I have to crop in a little bit. So I have to make sure I have space to do that. So we're gonna take these scissors and we're just gonna lay them in nice and like just nice and easy. You can lay them in at like a little curve there. So we have a lot of stuff down here. So I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to take a flower and I'm going to just sort of play with them up here. And like clusters are good. You can do a little cluster with it. You can do what I just did and do just like a little line kind of shape. And we can lay that flower in there. Just nice and easy. I have these 2 yellow flowers. So we could definitely put those in like up here, up at the top. We can set this guy, actually, we'll set this guy right in there and just do something like that. Where it just, there we go. And I don't want people to ever be afraid of like overlapping. So like, yeah, those leaves are overlapping onto the invitation. That's okay though. I think that's fine. It doesn't bother me. What does bother me are these 2 flowers together. So here is sort of where, this is sort of where I get like really weird and picky about things. So like I'll move these earrings because I want these flowers to be like here. And now I want this flower to come right here so that it's on like 2 different, do you see how I did that? Just 2 different little fingers. And then I'm gonna have a little bud coming out so that it's, but now I need somewhere to put this ring, right? So we can bring the ring, so we can even bring a ring right here actually. This is not bad. This is a great idea. Great idea. And then we can bring this guy probably down here. There we go. Bring her down. And then we can put these earrings back on the envelope down here. That's really pretty. Well, you love that. So yeah, that's how I would style that even more. I wouldn't add too much more to this. I don't know if you guys can, I don't know if I can zoom. Oh, I can zoom. Fun. Okay, there we go. I zoomed it in. Like I said, I'm not good at this. Video's not my thing. So you can sort of see how it's not a lot of stuff, but it fills the frame nicely. Everything sort of meshes well together. Like in reality, on a wedding day, I would already have, I would say like 80 to 90% of this stuff I ask for. So like I ask for the invitation, I ask for the jewelry, I ask for some flowers, or I'll find some that are relevant. I ask what colors we're going with so that I know what color ribbons and other things to have available. And who knows, like these pieces could have come from a centerpiece on a table, right? I didn't have to bring those. The only things that I added that are more like styly, I guess, would be like these scissors and then the geode pieces, if you want to get picky. So like I could take both of those away and this would still be absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I said that as I move one of the flowers away. I don't like it there. I like it down here, I think. Yeah. See, it's seriously just a matter of playing with it until you get it right, which is why I really love being able to do this at home. Um, it just sort of helps me sort of plan out the shapes. Now I don't know if you can tell. I can tell because I do it all the time, but I can see the shape here. So I can sort of, I mean, if I could, I would draw like a shape. I call them blueprints, so Flatlay blueprints. So this, you can see a diamond. You can see it. If I wanted to go even like more extreme, I would just squish everything in, maybe an inch and a half, and give it more vertical space, so more up and down space. So I would push that main invitation suite up, bring these two up a little bit, and really narrow it in, so you would really get that dramatic diamond. I will, once this video is done and I photograph all of this kind of stuff, I'll do that and show you what that would look like. But yeah, oh, I was gonna tell you how so big blooms, like this honker, or like peonies, these things are gorgeous. Love them. Peonies are my favorite flower. Close second are tulips, which I also have some of. Look how cute these little guys are. So cute. I love them. But big flowers are hard, right? These are hard to stick in a delicate suite like this. Like, I couldn't just stick this dude like down here in a corner, right? Like, that is extremely attention grabbing, and I don't want the attention to be on the large, fluffy, brightly colored flower in the bottom of the frame. I want it to be on, oh, Chelsea and Michael, this is their wedding invitation. Look at how beautiful this is. You can't read that because it's backwards, but it says Chelsea and Michael on it. So, what I would do with this big white fluffer is I would not use all of it. I would just use like half, or even I would like cut it into a piece, and I would just stick it in the corner, because I know that I'm gonna cut it off. I know how I shoot. I know what I would need to get like a good crop on this. I would stick it in a corner, and I even paired this little guy next to it. And there you go. Look how fun that is. So right now, yes, this corner is super heavy looking. Super heavy looking. Not only is it okay because the colors are light and neutral, this would be completely different if this was a big yellow flower. Would not do it. Would not put it there. Absolutely not. Where would I put it? That's a good question. I could put it up where the green things are, because I want the attention to be up here. I don't necessarily want it down here. So we could do that. Another thing I can do to break up some of that clusteriness is move the earrings up a little bit more. Another handy dandy tidbit, you want to make sure if you're using a dress of any sort in a Flatlay that the earrings don't snag it, especially if it's lace or chiffon or any kind of fabric like that. That's dangerous. So the only reason I said that is because it just snagged this. It just snagged it as I was doing it. So there's that. So I guess that's how I would style it, honestly. I'm gonna photograph it like this, and then I'll post it in my stories and stuff later. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Is there anything you're dying to know? Is there anything I can help you with? It doesn't even necessarily have to be about this setup. It can be about, like, how do I get my brides to send me their stuff, or where do I get my stuff from, or anything like that. There's a lot of fun friends here. I see them popping up. Hello, everybody. Hopefully you guys are all doing okay. It's a little chilly out today. It was snowing outside earlier. I'm just gonna give it a minute in case a question pops up. And while I'm waiting, let's see here. I'm just gonna put some of these little doodads away. guess I can show you. I wasn't going to do this. I was going to save this for another one, but I guess I can quickly show you sort of like what's in my boxes. I don't call it like a what's in my kit because I sort of, hello Melissa, how do you handle harsh shadows when it comes to Flatlays? Oh my goodness. Okay, all these questions are coming in. This is exciting. Okay. So, how do I handle harsh shadows? Really good question. I don't have it out here because the light is really nice. So, I have a reflector. It's bigger than this styling board is, I will tell you that. And I put a reflector. I like to light things from the left. From the left. I don't know if there's a reason. I don't remember if I learned it somewhere. I honestly have no idea. But I like to light things from the left. So, actually I even did it today. I have a bank of windows to the left of me. And so I like the light to come in from there, which means I'll bounce the light up with my reflector from the right. If you don't have a reflector, or you don't have somebody to hold your reflector, or you're not comfortable bringing in that huge honkin' thing to a wedding day, you can use pillows off of the bed, like a white pillow. You can sort of nestle on up in there. If you're in a hotel room, the backs of the curtains, I know the fronts are usually terrible, like tapestry material, but the backs of them are usually white or cream. So if you're like sort of situated yourself in between like the window, you can bring the curtain around, and that creates like a really nice tunnel of light that will just sort of fall in there. Also, if none of you, I don't know who all is watching, so I don't know what your personal style is. My style is very bright and airy. It is very film-like. I call it romantic, feminine, delicate. So I like things to be bright. If you're a dark and moody photographer, which I also love, I love dark and moody photos, you can sort of play into those shadows. Now, I don't like to do it so much that you lose details, okay? We don't like that. But I do like to have, so that little shadow underneath, I keep. I don't get rid of that. I don't lighten that, because that gives me that pop. It makes it so things jump off the background. They're not flat. Hopefully that helps. Bring a reflector. If you don't have a reflector, like things like a pillow or a blanket or the wedding dress bag, sometimes that's white, you know. Hopefully that helps. Let me see, what else do we have? Where do I find most of my styling pretties? Oh, okay, love that question. Okay, so I have 2 boxes of ribbon. This is ribbon. This is like, I call it sample size ribbon, which is what most companies will give you. It's a yard. Let me see if I can zoom this out so I can, oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so I get ribbon from everywhere. Etsy, most of the time it's Etsy. Silk and Willow, I love. Courtney Ingram makes beautiful ribbons. That's where I get ribbon from. I like to get it in every color. I also just now got into like textured ribbons. So I started like a velvet thing. I have like some velvet pieces. Love the velvet. Super fun. And then my other stuff. So I have a really good collection of ring boxes. I get these from everywhere. I think most of the time I got them from Etsy. Fun fact, I don't own a Mrs. Box. I don't. I just never thought the investment was worth it when I can get really nice ones from Etsy or Amazon. I got this round one from Amazon for like $12. So that's where I got those. The styling mat shop, so like the styling mat, those big circle ones, they have a shop where you can buy styling items. Like I got my scissors I got from there. I have a pocket watch that I do for like groom details is in there. Some stamps, that sort of stuff. Most of the stuff I buy from Etsy, or I just find Goodwill is it's a good place for like dishes and trinkets. Like this tray I bought from Goodwill. This is really fun to style things on. It was $1 and I flipped it over and it has like a real silver sticker on it. So Goodwill's a really good place to go. These are drawer knobs. Drawer knobs that I've put in Flatlays before. So that's where I get most of my stuff from. It's probably Etsy or Amazon. I like to sort of purchase from like shops if I can, just to support other small business owners. I think it's fun. So I recommend Etsy. Megan, where is that ring box from? Megan, that's a very good question. I'm going to have to... Amazon. This one's from Amazon. If I can remember where I got it from, I will send it to you. She was not expensive. I think it was maybe $9, and I have Prime shipping, so I will say, I thought it was this size when I bought it. This one I bought from the styling mat shop, so that's a bigger one, and it's a purple. So I thought it was this size, and then I got it, and it was this little guy, but I actually like the fact that it's little. And most of mine, I don't have some of the ones I have are also like double rings. So like, this one has 2 slots in it, so it just depends on like, what you want. And then, what else we have? Tips to keep edges of invites straight in the right perspective when shooting. Oh, okay, yes, that's a really good question. So I'm a stickler for, that sounded funny. I'm a stickler for level, for things to be level, for things to be straight. Most of the time when I'm styling, I'm sitting down on the ground like I am now. So it's hard to see if this is all straight. If I were to stand up, which is what I usually would do next, I would stand up, take a look at everything, and I just do it by eye, honestly. I also, since my mat is a rectangle, I like to see like, okay, is the top of this matched up to the top of my board correctly? Are things askew? That sort of thing. And then when it comes to like actually taking the photo, your first sort of, so like if I pick my camera up right now and take it like from here, it's going to be distorted, right? So you have to get all the way up and over, which means I always recommend doing these either on the ground or somewhere where you can get really high up above it, so you can come right up and over it, which means, I don't have my camera out here. I use the little screen that flips out on my camera. I have a Nikon, so mine doesn't work the same way as Canon's do, but my screen pops out and I can sort of look and see like, okay, am I sort of right? And you just have to, it's something you just have to learn how to get it positioned right, how to make sure that it's not too far. If you're pulling it into Lightroom, I use Lightroom, there's a setting you can go into and it will sort of change the X and Y axis. If it's a little skewed, it'll fix it right up for you, which eventually if I ever do an editing video, I can show you. If that's something you guys want to see, I can do that too. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? I think we did pretty good. And I'm gonna show you guys, just because this is really funny to me, how big this dress is. Look at that. Oh my goodness gracious. She's so big. Oh. She's huge. Hopefully when this is all done, I'll be able to like put somebody in this dress and photograph them. I would love it. If I fit into it, I would do it myself, but there's no way. She would get to like my knees and that would be done. You guys are so welcome. Oh, I'm so happy that it was helpful. Is there anything else that I can do to help you today? Anything at all? Let me bring her closer so you guys can see that again. Oh, I'm so glad you had fun. I had fun too, actually, for not being great at video. I think we did pretty good. I think we did pretty good. And again, I will take this photo. I'll take some like close-ups so I can show you how I do like details of the details. And then I'll do another one where it's stretched out even more extreme so you can really see the shape. And that way you guys can sort of map it out yourself. Okay? Well, thanks so much for spending some time with me. Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully it made you smile. You guys are so welcome. Oh my gosh, I love it. Now that I know you guys liked it, I'll probably do it again. If there's anything you want to see specifically next time, just let me know. And we can definitely do that, okay? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.